packed show. We've got Gal, and what's interesting about today's show, second guest today from Israel. Isn't that amazing?
You had another one.
Yeah, and I'll connect you. I mean, I think we have such a great global network. And what's interesting about the global network is when we think about age, sex, religion, location, the pandemic is something we can all relate to. That doesn't matter where you're sitting. And what was interesting was I was just on a phone call with, again, someone, a podcast, someone in Israel, and I'm going to ask similar questions, right? Because it's amazing. And the first question is, Gal, last year, we have the pandemic, and I know we talk about this a lot on the show, but I think it's the right way to start it. How did you get out of bed? Think back March, April, May as an adult. Like, how are you running your household? How are you running your team? How are you running your business? And, walk us through that, because we all globally had to juggle knives, if you will, or juggle sharp objects. Definitely. How did you do it?
So basically, most of the previous year, I was spending 1 or 2 weeks every month in the US, traveling, meeting people. That was something that was like an awesome experience for me. Sorry,
No, that's great.
My phone.
And I was thinking about all the mileage and points you must have. This is insane.
Yeah, I had a lot of mileage. I had a lot of points. I was getting that.
That's okay. No, I love, this is real. This is what we want. This is real.
No, this is working from home. This is working from home. I apologize.
Oh my God, I love it.
So I was traveling a lot, and I'm a people's person, and I really enjoy that, because we were in the midst of showcasing our technology, and it was so much fun meeting people and showcasing and learning a lot, and meeting and going to conferences and presenting in front of conferences. And all of a sudden, you can't do anything.
Yes.
It made us think, how are we going to, and we did understand that this is going to be a long-term deal. So we needed to rethink what we're doing. And I'm the CTO and co-founder of the company. Mostly finished building, the some of the basic infrastructure that we had. And we had to go, and I was doing my job, presenting the company and presenting the technology. Now, what do I do now? I don't have anywhere to go to. I don't have anyone to meet. I sat down with my partner, our CEO, Amir, and we decided we need to think about that and see how we can make best advantage of this by trying to focus on what can we do in this upcoming month, which turned out to be more than a year, to come out of that better and stronger. So unfortunately, it started with some cuts inside the company, which is always awful. But we all made our, the financial sacrifice, including management and everything. And then we started focusing on the needs and all the things that we knew that we always had to build but couldn't. And I sat down on my table from somewhere around 8:15 in the morning, got up at 9 p.m. at night, and started working, building a new team, some offshore team, and enhancing the people that we already have on the development side and on the product side. And started adding a lot of capabilities to our platform, specifically a platform that is built for creators, for podcasters. It's called AudioBurst Creators. And we've changed the whole, we pivoted the entire company on getting prepared for 2021. Good for us that on that specific time frame, audio, which is what we're dealing with, started to be the best companion for this time frame. And the numbers of content creation and social audio and all these trends, they just bloomed. So we had more content to absorb, more content to analyze, and it was just like a perfect fit. But for me, I've never been in a position where I'm not meeting people, and it was hard. I love meeting people. I love meeting you, but I would prefer to meet you in person. I'm that kind of a guy, but the whole method of development is changed. You can't sit in a room together and brainstorm. It's all in these Zooms and Hangouts, and you don't really feel what the other person is feeling right now. Sometimes, they turn off their camera. Sometimes they're not. They're doing other stuff. One of the things that people found that they can go to meeting and work on other stuff. You can see people fade away. So it's hard, but we did a very good job, I think, by focusing, taking advantage of the situation, and we're now back better than before.
lot there, and things I talk about a lot on this show is there are some winners industries and some losing industries, and what I'm delighted to hear is that pivot. You were a good company before, but now you're winning bigger. And I think you were spot on with how important audio is and how much we just take for granted as a consumer of it. Oh, we're going to spin up a podcast. Oh, we're going to do something on audio. There's a lot of wiring that has to get done to make this work. And I think you picked up a few things of, what do you do when you're home for every day and your team is home every day? Let's take out the list of stuff we just didn't want to fix, but we have to fix or like take the shot on. Now, I think what's also, there's something to audio that I've always been curious about. So I don't know if I'm going to frame the question correctly, so just bear with me. But I've always been curious about the deep analysts of audio. And I kind of want to get a sense of, like, if you think of segmenting audio into searchable bursts. So sounds simple, but can you walk us through maybe both the science and also the why? Why do we need it? Why is that important on that analysis?
I'll start with the why.
Okay.
Audio is the best companion media out there. It's the only thing that you can do while doing other things. And everything is indexed today. Everything is on demand. You can search for articles, for recipes, for videos, for images. You can share almost everything. And we started almost 6 years ago. Audio was not part of that. You heard a great piece, a great story, and on the radio, and radio hosts are amazing storytellers. You can't share that. You can't search for that. It's gone. It's vanished. It's vaporized. And when we started, podcast was very small, but even 6 years later, you usually listen to podcasts from your network, from word to mouth. There's no real means to discovery, and there's no real way to go and find what you're interested in. And because audio is a medium that you consume, or you should consume through your ears, how do you flip through content? You get Google search results, you flip through them. You go to Netflix, you flip through the titles. How do you flip through audio, where every piece of audio is 45 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour and a half? So short form is solving all these issues. One, it's extracting the stories. Some are 30 seconds, some are a few minutes. From podcast, we try to find the best 2 minutes of what's being discussed. Each of these 2 minutes or 3 minutes is either an autonomic piece of information that when you consume, you're now richer and more informed and more entertained. But it also is a preview to what's next.
Correct.
What's really being discussed. So you can skim through content, you can find it, and without doing the short form, there's no real means of flipping through audio. And with the rise of all these smart speakers and in-car infotainment system where you need to not be focused on the screen, our ability to present short form as a means to access audio content was the why.
I love it.
We've built it, and the importance of having that.
I love it. So like, as a podcaster, walk me now through, because I know so many people in our audience want to get into podcasting. So do we use AudioBurst as our platform? Do we still use Buzzsprout? Do we use Zoom? Like, how do we get involved? How do we use the product as our community, and even as myself, a creator?
So thank God there's lots of platforms for you to upload, record your content, and upload and get an RSS feed. And they even give you a player to go and play your full episode. But if you want to reach out to other places where audio, and one of the trademarks of AudioBurst, we bring audio whenever, wherever. We have plugins for mobile applications. We have plugins for websites. We have embeddable players. We are in the car. We are in the speakers. So all you have to do is take your RSS feed that you're getting from that platform, go to AudioBurst Creators, and just put it in. It's free. Okay. Of course, there are additional features that are paid, but it's really nothing. And what happens is we will go and take your RSS feed, analyze your content, segment it into sections, allow you an audio editor to go and refine the cuts. So we will improve in time based on your cuts of the audio to better understand what is it exactly that you want to extract. And now you can create a playlist of just your short form audio pieces where you can embed on your site, and you can allow us to go and take your content and push it to places that it wasn't before. So the podcasting platform will make sure you're in the podcasting platforms. But if you want to be inside, if you're talking about beauty tips, we put you in a beauty app.
I love it.
If you're talking about gardening, we'll put you in a gardening site.
I love it.
If you're the host of your content and you have a website, we'll give you an embeddable search engine for you to go that. We're about to launch with one of the biggest podcasters out there with putting a searchable embeddable player for his content. You can hear whatever his views are on any topic. You just type it in and you get that content.
What I'm delighted about as a creator and someone who podcasts, as well as people that ask me, how do I get involved? What I'm loving about this is you do not need to be a technology person. You do not need, the hardest thing for what I'm hearing is you setting up your Buzzsprout account to get your RSS feed. I mean, that is, then once we get the feed, we just flip it over and then it just should be fun doing the rest. So I love this no code, low code way. And again, why you're winning is you're right. It is a companion. It's just so well thought out. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And so again, to download that, that's Audio Creator.
Go to AudioBurst website, www.audioburst.com. You'll have a link to creators, or you can go to creators.audioburst.com.
And so everyone listening, this is, again, we have an audience of so many great people. And again, a lot of them have been thinking about podcasting and not sure what to do, where to go. I'm saying start now. And I'm telling you right now, Gal's company is a company that you should also check out to amplify, because we live in this TikTok world. So we'll do a 30-minute, podcast. Great. But like 2 minutes is right. It's like 2 minutes and 8 seconds. Like it's very rare. And if you look at, some of the best podcast clips, they're taking them, they're putting it on TikTok. They're getting them down to 90 seconds. We just live in that world. This is fantastic.
We also allow you to make videos out of your short form audio. So.
Even better. So I think there's so much here. And I think the time is right in the sense that all employees need to be creators. So I think that I'd love to get your point of view. I think that, when I interview people, I always say, okay, are you ready to be on camera? Because we need you to create content. I know you're an engineer, or I know that you're in marketing, but we need to be found because we're not traveling. We need to be out there. We don't know what's going to work. So what are your thoughts on the importance of employees to be creators?
So we actually encourage our employees to create content, specifically on their niche experience and knowledge.
Yeah.
But we have some very interesting customers that will now use our integration to upload content and record content while they're on the go. So you not just listen to content, you'll be able to go and record content and upload that directly. So you can be, and if you're in a community, let's say you're working with machines, okay? And you have all these tips on how to work with machines.
Yep.
And you can just go ahead and while you're driving, instead of just listening to content, it's always with a push of a button. You're now a creator, and it's audio. You don't need to dress up nice. You don't need to.
I love it.
Do your haircut, although we don't have much to cut. Mm-hmm. But you can just be a creator, and it's so easy. It's so important because we need to pass on information. Right. It's an informational era, and audio, and we really truly believe that by 2024, 45% of people will consume their knowledge through their ears.
Well, first off, I agree. I think that there's another part of this that concerns me, and it's a concern, but let me get the sentence right. Employees need to keep improving their own resume, if you will. So by creating this content, which is not easy, and keeping to a cadence, and then putting it on LinkedIn, a headhunter will find you. A recruiter will find you. So for me, what I like about this is, yes, the company wins because you're getting great content. But ultimately, I just want to shine the light on the employee. They win because your next job will come because someone was searching for something on a pod. Like you're a known entity, he or she. I think that's as important as a degree, or that's as important as a certificate in something. You have to be found. That's my thoughts. What are your thoughts? Again, looking back to going forward to 2024.
So evangelism of everything used to be on conferences and that's gone. If you want to evangelize something, a platform, code, a product, something, you need to be able to go and find new means of distributing your knowledge, and of course yourself as the one who has the knowledge on that topic. And audio is a great means to do that. If you want to give tips, then you can do a short form, just like I presented. But if you want to do an in-depth one, then yes, you need to buy a very good mic and you need to find a very good camera, which is very important. And you need to tell your story the way you know how to tell it. And these people know how to tell the story because it's what they love to do. And they take their passion and they put it into a video or a podcast. And now people can hear their tips, but click a button and hear the full session. And that's the great thing about short form to long form.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah. And to the listeners, it's going to take you 15 or 20 episodes or 20 things to get your voice. It's okay. Right. And I think what Gal is saying is start off with your iBook, camera, and mic. See if you like it. But once after you get to 10 or 11 episodes, go out and buy a $200 mic. Go out and get a nicer camera.
Yeah.
This is the new norm. If you can even find one. I went out and did that when I was like, gosh, it sounds like working remote is the new norm. I just went out a year ago and invested in lighting, sound. Wasn't going to be a podcaster, but I just, like Al said, is I'm not going to be traveling. Every deal is going to get done through this computer. I want to make sure I have the right presentation of myself.
Yeah, definitely.
So, no, this was great. Now, advice. We have a great community. We have creators. What you've given a lot. Advice. Whether it be about audio or just advice about getting out there and amplifying your message. What advice would you like to kind of sprinkle?
So it's coming from two sides. One, if you're a developer or if you have an app or a website, think about audio. Audio makes your users stay longer on your page. They listen. They can continue listening if you're an app, even when they just got a WhatsApp message and they're now WhatsApping, but they have their earpieces and they are still in your app while even in another app.
Yeah.
So think about audio, what a beautiful medium it is to go and enrich your customers, but also get them to stay with you longer. That's on the publisher side. On the creators, just those that are already creative are doing a hell of a job. That's why we see this huge rise. And if you like not just to talk, then you can go to social media and open rooms and start discussing the things that you like. And that's also an amazing medium to go and talk about the things that you like. For those of you who don't do that yet, think what's holding you back. And don't be shy. When you're doing a room, then you're live and you're talking now live, and you might be have some I don't know.
That's right.
A bit afraid. But when you're recording yourself, you can take a few shots, take one, take two. Finally, you're going to get there and speak your mind. It's so important to speak your mind. It could be on any topic. It could be on job related. It could be politics. It could be on how you like your garden and how your best tips on how to do. Everybody knows how to do something very, very well. They all have their perks. Take these perks out there. People who love to go and listen to them.
So good. So good. I love how you brought that into two dimensions. I mean, it's the right advice. There's a lot there. And I really encourage everyone to replay that session because it's really good advice coming from someone who just, I believe, is not only a thought leader in the audio space, but has a really good feel of where it's going for both content and search engine optimization and engagement. I mean, there's a lot here, but I think he is spot on. Gal, thank you for being on the show. And what we're going to do is...
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure. Really. And
I'm going to take this show and I'm going to absolutely, before like the next week, I'm going to open up the account. I'm going to drop it on here and we're going to do some micro clips on this. So this will be a nice promo also for the company, but I got to say, I can't wait to use it. So this was great for me, learning how to also improve what we're doing for our users. So this was a real treat. And Gal, thank you for being part of this.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for bearing my dogs barking in the beginning.
That was the best part.
Sorry for that, but yeah, that's where we're at right now.
No, that's perfect.
Appreciate your time, and
of course.
Thank you for all of you hearing us. And if you want to reach out, you can find me on LinkedIn, and feel free to reach out and ask questions, and get advice. I'm always open to talk to people. I love talking to people. I missed it. I want to do it more.
I know, and we're gonna get a lot of people to have you talk to, and we'll keep improving. Super show. All right, and we are the Data Standard. We're sponsored by Pandio. Pandio has a new tool, Pandio ML, so be on the lookout for it. So thank you again for being here. Great show.
Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
You got to go.